Okay, for this section, we're going to focus on the operations involving fraction. So there will be negative fraction. So a lot of students will find this part very confusing. It's just adding on from the second teaching worksheet. So in the second teaching worksheet, you already learned about the basic multiplication rules and the division rules involving negative numbers. You also learn about the four operations. So essentially, we are just adding on. We're adding on with whatever that you have learned in primary school. So if you already spent quite a number of years like dealing with fractions in primary school, so it will be exactly the same thing, except that whatever you're doing in primary school are positive fraction. So right now you have negative fraction, but that doesn't change the basic operation. So what do I mean by basic operation? So in primary school, right, when you add fraction, your teacher taught you that you should make same denominator. So it will be the same thing. The same thing will happen here, even if there's negative numbers. So right now, I'm just reviewing the basic thing that you already learned. So for fraction plus fraction and fraction minus fraction, you already learned something called make same denominator. So this technique will still be applicable when we go to fraction algebra. So in algebra, there will be a specific part in using fraction also. So the same idea will translate over. So where you see same denominator, you are free to add the numerator. So these are the steps that you show. So if you punch calculator on 2/3 plus 1/5, it should return you the same answer. Okay, then for multiplication and division, for fraction times fraction, or fraction divide by fraction, we no need same denominator. But this is the one that a lot of students will get confused. Sometimes they will like also make same denominator. But in actual fact, when you are dealing with fraction multiplication, you are just doing a top times top, bottom times bottom. That's what you are doing. So you actually no need to make same denominator. Okay, so just be clear about the thing. Where you go to fraction algebra, the same logic will apply. Okay, one of the more forgotten thing about divide is in division, your teacher taught you to change it to a multiplication. In primary school, you were taught to change to a multiplication, and then the fraction after it, right, is being flipped over. So in primary school, you're taught to do that. So you flip the fraction over. So in case you didn't know there's a proper name to it, okay, that is called a reciprocal. So the proper name is called reciprocal. Reciprocal of this is 2/3. So if you want to change the sign from divide to multiply, you do a reciprocal. You reciprocal the fraction after the divide sign. So not the fraction in front of the divide sign. So you do a reciprocal. You do a reciprocal for the fraction after the divide sign. No inverted. After the divide sign. So once I do that, I go back to the multiplication where you go to top times top, bottom times bottom, and then remember to reduce it. Okay, so some students ask, can I cancel? So at this point, right, some students may say, I want to do a cancellation. Yes, you can do a cancellation. You will get a 3/5. But if you find that you are very untidy. Some of you, your handwriting are very small. So when your handwriting is already small, you try to do cancellation, you sometimes miss out on your own handwriting. So that's one risk. So you can do cancellation, you still hit the same number. Or like what I do, I never cancel first. I just do a top times top, bottom times bottom. So you will need this fundamental idea. Then we go to fractions that involve negative. Okay, so this is just a review of whatever that you have learned in primary school. And we're going to apply it to negative number. So the rules that you have learned in the second teaching worksheet will still be applicable. Okay, so when you see a fraction like this, right? So for example, this fraction, to make life easier, the negative belongs to the numerator. So the negative belongs to the numerator. So what I can do will be like this. I make it belongs to the numerator. And this is the situation of fraction plus fraction. So where you got to make same denominator. So I'm going to make same denominator. And then I can add the numerator. If you look at the numerator, just the numerator, that is what you have done in the second teaching worksheet. In the second teaching worksheet, you learn how to handle this. So essentially, that's a minus 19. So you can present the answer like this, or you can present the answer like this. Usually, I prefer to present it this way. Okay. So you realize it's exactly the same technique. We make same denominator, then we add the numerator. But we are doing it with the negative number. Okay, the next one. The next one, you will see a double negative. So if you still remember, I mentioned in the second teaching worksheet, when two negative guys meet each other, okay, so the two friends are very negative and they cheer themselves up, so they become positive. So you apply the same rule. Okay, so this is fraction plus fraction. Obviously, you still need to make same denominator. But a lot of students, right, they will make same denominator in this format. So if you see this one is a mixed number. So if you see a mixed number, you change a mixed number to improper fraction. So you change a mixed number to improper fraction. Okay, so I'm going to change. So this one will get a 9/7. So I change a mixed number to improper. Negative and negative become plus. Then I make same denominator one more time. Then numerator plus numerator. And then you can just punch calculator for like the numerator that you have gotten. And then you simplify it back to a mixed number. You can always try punching calculator. Okay, input exactly this on your calculator. Do you get the same number or not? Okay, so these are the essential working that you've got to show. So the next one, you will see fraction times fraction, but it involves a negative fraction. And it involves a negative mixed number. So it doesn't matter. If you see mixed number, you change it to improper. And the negative sign will follow the numerator. So in this sense, I'll be getting a -4/3. Then I will execute my top times top, bottom times bottom. and then you try to reduce it. Okay, make sure you remember to reduce it. In primary school, you already require to reduce it. So in secondary school, you're also required to reduce it. You can reduce it using your calculator. That's fine. So a lot of time, this kind of question, right, they will tell you that you're supposed to do all this without calculator. The real meaning of without calculator is please do not go and press. Please do not show this. So let's say for this question, right, if you just punch calculator, your calculator give you this. Even though it's correct, your teacher will give you a lot of carrot because there's no working to show how you arrive at -5/9. So obviously, if you get a direct -5/9, you have punch calculator directly. So they didn't want you to punch calculator directly, but you can punch calculator for the little thing. Like for example, if let's say you realize you can't mentor 12 times 3, then you go and punch. It's okay to punch a little bit, but you cannot punch everything and then just give a final answer. So if you just punch everything like this one, you will get it wrong because there's no working shown. It's very obvious that you just punched calculator to get the answer. So in exam, you are required to show the working. Okay, so here comes the divide. So the divide is the reciprocal that I mentioned just now. And we also see a mixed number. So we change out the mixed number to improper. And the negative sign belongs to the numerator. And remember, when you divide a fraction, you can do a reciprocal. Flip it over, and it became a multiplication. Then you followed by top times top, bottom times bottom. So 23 times 11. Of course, I don't think you can mentor. I can't mentor as well. I'll press calculator for 23 times 11. Okay, then here is a -48. Then I use my calculator to reduce it. But I need to show the process. I need to show the process of how divide become a multiplication. So this process that involve negative number is the same as whatever that you learn in primary school. So you're gonna get used to this part first, and then we're gonna have 4 operations with fraction, and we have squaring, cube, fraction, all this. Okay, so this is the fundamental part first. So you might need to practice this fundamental part before you can go for 4 operation involving fraction.